Thank you so much. Through you, Chair. My name is Dailes Moses Mbengo, MP for Mchezo constituency. Thank you.
After Chair, my name is Mkazi Mkazi, MP for Ngakhale North constituency, and I'm a member of this ad hoc committee. Thank you.
Chair, my name is Dumisano Lindani, representing the people of Zomba Tondwe constituency, and a member of this ad hoc committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairperson. My name is James Mpunga. I represent the people of Zomba City South constituency, and I'm Vice Chairperson of this ad hoc committee.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairperson and all honorable members of this ad hoc committee. My name is Joseph Manzi. I am the Deputy Clerk of Parliament responsible for procedural services, and I am leading a team of the Secretariat that is supporting this ad hoc committee. Allow me, Honorable Chairperson, to ask each one of them just to quickly introduce themselves. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Through you, Honorable Chair, Tile Likoma, Secretariat.
Chair, good afternoon. My name is Ephraim Maipopo, Secretariat. Thank you.
Through you, Honorable Chair, my name is Suzy Okunga, Parliament Secretariat.
Honorable Chairperson, I'm Ian Mwenye. I head the Protocol, Public Relations and Civic Education. Thank you.
Through you, Honorable Chair, my name is Annie Ganyangalazi, Parliament Secretariat.
Through you, Honorable Chairperson, my name is Charles Makalani, Parliament Secretariat. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. I am Louis Maki, Secretariat.
Through you, Honorable Chairperson, my name is Sipiwe Koma, Parliament Secretariat.
My name is Walter Nyamilando Manda, the Chairman of the ad hoc committee and a Member of Parliament from Sanje Southwest. Madam Chilima, as the spouse of the late Vice President, Right Honorable Dr. Saulos Chilima, you are uniquely placed to provide first-hand evidence regarding his movements, communications, itinerary and state of mind in the period immediately preceding the flight of 10th June 2024. Your testimony is expected to assist the committee in establishing the chronology of events leading to the journey, including changes to the travel program, discussions concerning the purpose of the trip, communications with officials, and any observations that may assist in understanding the circumstances preceding the departure. Your evidence will complement the institutional evidence received from government and media witnesses by providing an important personal perspective. The committee and the people of Malawi once again extend our deepest condolences to you and your family. You obviously received summons, and that's why you're here, to testify on what you know. But before you give your testimony, we would like you to take an oath. May I request the Secretary to administer the oath?
I, Mary Chilima,
do solemnly swear
by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
shall
be the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much for your cooperation. You are free to give your testimony. We noticed that you have prepared your presentation. We have received copies. It is up to you to read through the report or to talk it through. After you have made your presentation, members might want to seek further clarification. So I'll open the floor to the members then. But for the time being, the floor is yours. You may proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and all the honorables present. Good afternoon. On the 12th of June 2026, I, Mary Chilima, received a summons to appear before the ad hoc committee on the Chikangawa plane crash inquiry, where I'm expected to testify on the chronology of events from the time the late Vice President returned from South Korea until his travel on 10th June, including communications, travel preparations, and interactions departure. May I seek your indulgence, Chair, to go a bit further than 10th of June as per the summons?
You may proceed.
Thank you. Here is my submission. We departed the Republic of Korea on the 6th of June 2024, and we spent a night in Dubai. The next morning, we left Dubai on 7th of June 2024 for South Africa. Upon arrival in South Africa, I collected our daughter from school to join us in the hotel where we were staying, and that evening we sat down to dinner together in the hotel restaurant. During dinner, Dr. Chilima got a message that was clearly bad news. I asked what had happened, and he said that his friend, Mr. Raf Kasambara SC, had died. We were all in shock. I recall he tried to call Mrs. Maggie Kasambara, but she wasn't picking up, understandably so. At the time, two of his good friends, Mr. Tutu Kachingwesisia and Mr. Moses Ntakomwa, were waiting for him to finish dinner for a chat. After the message, he excused himself to meet his friends and to try to get more details of the sudden death. By the end of the night, we had learned that Mr. Kasambara had died in Lilongwe and that he would be brought to Blantyre, upon which further programs would be advised. During the 8th of June, Dr. Chilima continued to engage the Kasambara family on the planned way forward. In the meantime, we had planned to spend the Saturday visiting the sick and buying a few personal items. As planned, we went to see Honorable Lucius Banda in hospital. We saw Mr. Nkondula Uga and the family of Right Honorable Kumbo Kajale, who had a child in the hospital. Thereafter, Dr. Chilima had meetings with various friends and colleagues, which went on for the rest of the day and well into the evening. During this time, he informed me that there were discussions on where the late Mr. Kasambara would be buried, noting that he might either be buried in Blantyre or in Katabe. Later that evening, Dr. Chilima informed me that the burial would take place in Katabe. He then informed me that depending on which day the burial would occur, he might not be able to attend as the President was going on an official trip. We discussed and agreed that I would go in his place should he be unable to do so. He was grateful because he knew that I had a PhD proposal resubmission due on the 11th of June at 2 p.m. He informed me that he would instruct his office to make the appropriate arrangements for my travel to Nkatabe for the burial ceremony on the confirmed date. On the morning of the 9th, as we were returning to Malawi, he informed me that there had been a change of plan and that Mr. Kasambara would be flown to Nkatabe that afternoon. He further informed me that it would no longer be necessary for me to go to the burial ceremony in Nkatabe, as we would meet Mrs. Maggie Kasambara and the family at the Chileka airport and offer our condolences there. Seeing how tired we all were, this seemed to be the most feasible plan. He said we would later plan a trip to Blantyre to condole them properly upon their return from Nkatabe, and I agreed. We landed at Chileka Airport, possibly around 2:30 p.m., expecting to find the funeral entourage already there, but unfortunately, they were late. We were assured that they were on their way, but sadly, the call to reboard the plane to Lilongwe came before they arrived. Dr. Chilima noted that the plane had to proceed to Nairobi, and we could not ask them to delay just for our programs, as that would have been selfish of us. I later learned that they missed us by less than 10 minutes. He informed me that he would advise me on the way forward, since we had been unable to meet and offer our condolences to the Kasambara family in Blantyre as planned. Upon arrival in Lilongwe, he went straight into various meetings, and I in turn proceeded to work on my proposal resubmission. At some point, he informed me that some of his lawyer friends had stated that Dr. Kasambara needed to be buried in person. Dr. Chilima was upset by this comment because he felt like it was unfair to expect him to attend under the circumstances. He expressed frustration at the expectation for him to attend the funeral in Ngakhale as well as the presidential send-off in Lilongwe. I was therefore surprised when later he informed me that he would go to the funeral. I asked how, and he said that the presidential program had changed from a 1 p.m. departure to a 5 p.m. departure, making it more feasible for him to attend both. He explained that we would depart by plane at 9 a.m. the next morning and arrive in Zuzu by 10 a.m., then plan to be at the funeral latest by 11 a.m. The plan was to return to the airport by 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. in order to make sure that we return to Lilongwe by 3:30 p.m., in ample time to see the president off. He then proceeded to bed and I continued working until around 2 a.m. After about 3 hours of rest, I continued to work on my submission in the morning while he went to church around 5:45 a.m. Upon his return from Holy Mass, he asked how I was progressing with my submission, and I told him I still had a lot of reading and writing to do. I then asked whether it was possible for me to stay to continue working on my submission. He agreed and urged me to ensure that I met the deadline as required. I continued working while he went to the gym between 7 and 8 a.m. Later, we said our usual goodbyes and he left. I got a text from him around 9 in the morning telling me that he had boarded, and I responded by wishing him a safe trip Mwambwe. I continued working, and at around 10:30 a.m., I texted him to check if he had arrived, but he did not respond, which was strange, because he would normally tell me when he landed. Since he was attending a public event, I took a break to watch the funeral online, hoping I would see him, but I did not. I continued working on my submission. However, in between sessions, I would check my phone, but there was still nothing. In the afternoon, around 1:30, I tried to contact him again, but there was nothing. There was no response. I assumed that he was driving back to Nzuzu Airport for Lilongwe. I anticipated that he would be landing in Lilongwe around 3 to 3:30 p.m. and would call me back when free. Around 3 p.m., I heard the voice of Mrs. Grace Varela calling me from downstairs. I told her I was coming down, but she said she was coming up to where I was, which I found to be very strange because I was in our private quarters. And immediately when she said that, I rushed to her. When I saw her face, I knew that something was wrong, and I asked her what it was, and she informed me that the plane was missing. The news didn't register, and I immediately started calling Saulos. I tried him a few times, but the phone still remained off. I asked her what time he had left the funeral, because at that moment my understanding was that the plane went missing on its way back to Lilongwe. The idea that it had been missing since morning didn't even occur to me. It was simply not plausible. When I was informed that the plane went missing on the way to Nzuzu, I just didn't understand why no one had informed me for over 5 hours. I called my aunt, Miss Rose Kamoto. I called my mother, I called my sister-in-law, Maria, I called my children and informed them that the plane carrying their dad was missing. My aunt rushed over, and upon her arrival, she called Father Chatsira in Nguludi and arranged for a virtual Holy Mass immediately. We had the virtual Mass with the hope that they had had an emergency landing somewhere out of reach. I later got a visit from Dr. Lake Sigwese, who came to tell me that the plane had crashed. I remember he used the word crashed. This was when reality began to sink in. At the time, I was working on faith that Dr. Chilima had had an emergency landing somewhere. I still kept trying to call him. When I found out that Madame Chanel was also in the plane, I also tried to call her, but to no avail. I wanted to leave Lilongwe immediately to go and find him, but I was told no one had a destination for me to go to yet. No one knew where the plane had crashed. Everyone discouraged me from going, saying they would find him soon and I could go to him as soon as they found him. I also got a visit from the Inspector General of Police and Honorable Kumbize Chiponda. I don't really recall what they said, but I remember scolding the IG for the delay in searching because it was late evening when they came. I kept asking why it took them so long to start searching. At that time, she could not give a satisfactory answer. Little did I know it would take 23 hours before they found them. That evening, we kept praying, crying, praying. Dr. Chilima has a personal pew in our home, and Aunt Rose and I took turns praying on it all night. It was the longest night of my life. Morning came with no news, just family members pouring in with grief all over their faces. We kept speaking hope and life into the situation. I tried again to leave to join the search, and someone said I had to be in Lilongwe for when our children arrived. Around 11 a.m., I started getting condolence messages from various people. And I would ask them if they had heard something, and they started backtracking and apologizing. Others didn't even respond. I then started to check social media to see if the plane had been found, and on one of the pages, I saw a picture of the plane. I rushed outside to the second in charge of the Vice President's security, Ms. Gloria Ntukule, and asked her if the picture was real. And she said she was on the phone with Mr. Limbikani Banda and would respond shortly. As I was anxiously waiting, another picture came on my phone with the aircraft number on it. I showed her the second photo, and as she was about to say something, I heard Mrs. Varela say her husband, Mr. Joshua Varela, said, "We have lost everybody." The world went black. The world is still black. I'm told I became hysterical, and at some point, I must have calmed down enough to remember to call my children before they saw it on social media like I did. I went upstairs to find a quiet place and steeled myself to have the most painful conversation in my life. I informed both children that their father had died in a plane crash just before they too boarded planes to come home. As I was talking to the children, someone came in to say I had to go and sit downstairs because the First Lady was coming and she had to find me seated. I refused. When I went downstairs, I found the house completely full of women, already dressed in black, ministers and others whom I did not know, and the First Lady was also there. Some were taking photos. It was chaotic, uncomfortable, and confusing. After that, we kept getting groups of different people. At some point, 40 clergy from different churches came at once, and I remember one said, "Mulungu salagwitsa, koma ababoka walagwitsa." We kept getting people coming to the private residence until someone made a decision to have everyone congregate at the Area 12 residence to give us a little room to grieve. I was very anxious about my children, who were both flying that day. But I still wanted to go to Chikangawa. But I was told that the bodies would be flown to Kia. And when I said I wanted to go to Kia, I was told no, because the president wasn't going to be at Kia. Later in the evening, we were rushed to leave because we were told that the former president was going to go to the airport after all, and we had to rush to arrive before him. We arrived at Kia. I remember seeing the big helicopters and thinking, where were they yesterday? After the planes landed, I saw body bags being moved into different medical vehicles. I was told to drive behind the car carrying Saulos, but I refused, and I insisted on going with him in the ambulance that took him to the mortuary. He was in a white bag in the back. I couldn't accept that this bag I was looking at was my Saulos. I really don't remember much after that. Since he had left on the morning of Monday, 10th June, I was only allowed to see him on Thursday, the 13th of June, around 7 a.m. at the mortuary. I was told to prepare myself because he was hurt. I went in not knowing what to expect, but I had to be strong for my children, and we were grateful that we were finally able to see him again. That morning, he was supposed to have his final Mass at St. Patrick's Parish at a set time, but Mass was delayed by close to 2 hours due to the late arrival of the former president. This hurt because Saulos was never late for Mass. On the 15th, we left the Area 12 residence to go to Parliament for a public viewing ceremony. And on the 16th, we had the stadium funeral ceremony. I was still in a state of shock and confusion. We left Fonsibe, and as we were driving through the city, people were mourning and throwing flowers at the hearse. But after leaving Lilongwe, crowds were demanding that we stop, and eventually they started stoning the convoy. Several times we almost collided into each other on the high-speed convoy. We were clearly given inadequate protection, and in response, our personal protection team had to radio ahead to district police, urging them to help us along the way in providing additional security all the way to Nsipe. Unfortunately, due to the violence of the people along the way, the coffin was dented with stones. Our car windows, some of them had been shattered, and my children and I were traumatized beyond belief. I honestly thought that we too were going to die that day. Later I learned that some innocent souls died from this senseless violence. May their souls rest in peace. On 17th of June 2024, we committed our beloved Dr. Saulos Chilima to his final resting place in Nsipe. Such were the events between 6th and 17th of June 2024 to my best recollection. For the interest of time and in relation to my summons, Honorable Chair, allow me to pause here. Thank you.
May I request that we observe 1 minute silence, if we can all stand up. May the soul of Dr. Saulos Chilima rest in eternal peace. We may get seated. We appreciate your presentation, which is very touching and moving at the same time. It's not the best of circumstances, but unfortunately we have to revisit the past. So if you may allow us to take you backwards, members may want to ask questions, seek further clarifications. Maybe there are issues that you haven't spoken about here, and members will want to know some of the detail as well. So I will open the floor to members, starting with Mwanza Central.
Thank you very much, Chair. Once again, my condolences, Madam Mary, for the loss of your beloved husband. I just want to confirm a few things with you. In your statement, you have said that at 3 p.m. you heard a voice of Mrs. Grace Varela downstairs, and at that time you had not been informed about the missing plane. So I just want you to confirm if that is correct.
That is correct.
Thank you. Mr. Sikwese came to you and informed you that the plane had crashed, and that was on the 10th, correct?
That is correct.
I just also want to confirm that you scolded the IG for the delayed search. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. In your statement, you have indicated that the president, the former president, came to the mass 2 hours late. Is that correct?
Let me clarify. We were waiting for him at the mortuary, and we left the mortuary on a convoy with him to go to the church. So we were waiting to leave for church. So the delay happened as we were waiting outside in the cold at the mortuary.
Thank you very much. When were you officially informed about the identification of or the location of the plane that was missing?
Please clarify. You mean?
From the officials from government.
I'm still waiting.
Thank you very much. Chair, that's all from me.
Ngakhale North, then to Dowa Kasangazi, and then Lilongwe Mudi.
No, thank you, Chair, for giving people of Ngakhale North to ask a question. First of all, I'll send my condolences to Madam Chilima for the loss of our Vice President. Basically, I'll go through the same of my colleague who asked, but I'll need an answer from there. That on page 3, you have said, or you have expressed that I later got a visit from Dr. Lakesi Kwese, who came to tell you that the plane had crashed. Can you remember it was at
4, if I'm not mistaken.
PM?
4 p.m. Yeah, I can't recall the exact time.
But at least 4 p.m.
Yeah, it's
somewhere
definitely after 3, but closer to 4.
Second question is again the down paragraph. You say that I also got a visit from the Inspector General of Police and the Honorable Kombize Chiponda. I don't recall what they said, but I remember scolding the IG for the delay in the searching. I kept asking why it took them so long to start searching at the time. Up to now, they didn't give. Did they give you any reason why did they delay for the search?
I haven't met them since that day, so no. Aside from the reports that are public, no.
Thank you, Chair.
Dowa Kasangazi.
Zikomo kwambiri Chair. Poyambirira ndi joine inu Chair komanso azanga onse amene apereka uthenga opepesa kwa Mai Chilima nawonso anthu akudowa Kasangazi constituency akupepesa kwambiri pa imfa imene inadza munjira ya ngozi. Chair, ndimati ndiforokoze kunena kuti kwa ine kuyamba kwanga ndale pali anthu angapo amene amandipanga inspire, ndipo Dr. Chilima anali mmodzi mwa iwo amene anandipanga inspire kuti munatiyambe nawo kuchita za ndale. Ndili ndi mafunso angapo amene ndikufuna kuti ndikupatseni. Funso loyambirira ndira kuti kodi inali nthawi yanji yomwe Dr. Chilima anatsimikiza zonena kuti apita iwo kumaliro lafu Kasambala ACC?
Zikomo kwambiri. Ineyo anandiuza usiku chifukwa titachokera ku Blantyre mmene nanenera anali m'mamiting osiyanasiyana nde amandiuza usiku ndithu. Zikomo.
Mmene inu mmaonera nthawi imeneyoyo amaoneka kuti anali pa pressure ina iliyonse yonena kuti apite kumaliro kapena inali decision yoti anapanga voluntarily?
Mwina mbutafotokoza kuti pressure yo ingakhale yotani.
Amaoneka kuti mwina anthu ena akuchita kuwakakamiza kuti kumaliro kumpofunika mupitebe.
Amene nafotokozera kuti panali anthu ena anzawo ena amene amaona ngati chinali chofunikira kuti iwo akhalepo kumaliroko. Koma malingana ndi pa program a president opuma sizikanatheka. Nde kupatula zinthu ziwiri zimenezo sindikutha kuona pressure ina yomwe imachitika. Koma ngati mwina anayankhula ndi anthu ena ine osadziwa kuti mwina anapanga pressurize kupyolera pamenepo sindingadziwe. Ziko.
Funso lina limene ndimafuna ndifunsepo ndilokhudzana ndi maganizo anu pa ngozi imeneyi. Sabata athayi tinali ndi asilikali aku airbase ku Zomba. Pafupifupi wonse amene anaonekera ku komiti ino amanena kuti ndege imene inanyamula malemu ndi anthu enawo inali bwinobwino. Panalibe mistake iliyonse. Inali ndege yoti imayenerabe kumauluka. Ndiye paliso report la BFU limene linaunika ndege ija itagwa kale, amanena kuti panalibe 49 iliyonse mmene anaunikira iwo. Chifukwa timamva kunena kuti anayitenga zidutswa za ndegezo anazitenga ukaziunika bwinobwino, kenako anaona kuti no iyayi panalibe china chilichonse chida china chilichonse chipangizo china chilichonse mu ndege muja chimene chimapanga malfunction pa nthawi ya ndege. Koma a BFU akupitirira kunena kuti munkuunika kwawo anaona kuti no weather sinali bwino kuchikangawa. Ndiye kwa iwowo anatibweretsera zithunzi mu report lawo tikawerenga pa page 59 ya BFU report, final report. Anayikapo zithunzi za ku satellite zosonyeza mitambo mmene inalili kunthungwa nthawi imeneyo. Ndeni mwangofuna kuti ndikufunseni kuti no inuyo ngati mkazi wa malemu komanso kubanjako conclusion imene anafika nayo BFU yonena kuti no weather ndi imene inapanga contribute kwambiri ku ngozi imeneyi. Inu maitenga motani, mayiona motani?
Zikomo kwambiri honorable. Conclusion yo imandikayikitsa pa zifukwa zosiyana zingapo. Zina zomwe BFU report inanena zinali zokuti mwina mapilot amene amayendetsa ndegeyo amathamanga chifukwa choti mwambo umene uyamba 10 koloko, koma mwambo umene uyamba 11 koloko. Ndekuti assumption yawo yomwe anachita base kuti zomwe zimachitika mu ndege inali off by an hour, which in flying time is quite a big. Chifukwa ananena ngati kuti mwina mapilot anali under pressure nkaona zina ndi zina zimachitika. Mene ndinamvetserera report ya BFU panali ngati maganizo amenewo kuti mwina panali passengers giving pressure, but it was based on the wrong premise. Ndekungoyambira pamene popo komanso kuti ndinayi ndi ka list kamafunso naneso kuti ndikanapereka kumapeto, koma lina